Hello, my name is Shea, and I love surfing. I've been surfing since I was 2 years old. I started surfing when I was very young, about 2 years old, when my dad took me out in the water. It was just small waves on a little boogie board, and he just had me stand up and ride it around. And from there, it just kind of grew into an obsession. So when I was about probably 11 or 12, I started doing competitions. That was when I was really like into surfing at the most ever. And so I was like, all right, I'll do a competition. And I knew a bunch of people that were doing it. And so it was kind of like friendly competition too. There wasn't a lot of pressure on it. It was just for fun. But I did it for a few years and I liked it. But, well, no, I didn't really like it. After about 3 years, I kind of just stopped because it just wasn't as fun to me doing it competitively when I could just be doing it for fun and, you know, enjoying being in the ocean. I typically will surf with my cousins, Brian, Matthew, or Connor, or my dad. And if it's not my cousins or my dad, it's my friend Sean. But usually it's my dad because he's the one that's like has the most time for it, and we'll go like on weekends. And it's best in like the fall when we go, in the winter, because there's like not as many people and there's usually better waves. But with my cousins, we would just do it in the summer when we were all together. And then my friend Sean, I would usually go, because we just kind of would always be hanging out, and so we'd go to the beach together and we'd just surf together. And he kind of was similar to me, to where he's been doing it since he was little also, and so we're at like similar talent levels, skill levels. So we just kind of have learned together how to do everything. So 2 places I've really just gone to surf is Cocoa Beach, Florida, which I went to when I was probably 13. That was pretty fun. We didn't really get it when there was really good waves, but that's just kind of how it is with surfing, because it's something that's based off of whatever the natural conditions are and the weather is. The place that I went that really stood out was the Outer Banks in North Carolina. When I went, it was during a huge storm in April. And so the waves were probably 8 to 10 feet all week, the entire week I was there. And those are some of the best waves in the world, because how it breaks on a sandbar. And that whole island is just one long sandbar for about 50 miles. And the way the sand is, it ripples out, so the waves will break either right against the beach or out on a sandbar. As I mentioned before, I don't just surf in the summer, I do go out in the winter. December, January, February is just the best time of the year to go, in my opinion. Well, no, the best time of year is the fall, but the winter is the second best, because there's never really a crowd in the water, and there's usually pretty good waves, because with storms that happen in the winter, it creates a good swell. In summer, it's usually calmer, and there's usually a lot more people, and when we do get waves in the summer, it gets crowded. But in the winter, when you get waves, there's maybe 4 other people in the water, 4 or 5. Like, you could count it on one hand how many other people there are, because it's just, nobody really wants to go out when it's that cold. But it can be done if you have, the right wetsuit and all the good gear. In the winter, you have to wear a wetsuit that's really thick rubber, probably like it doesn't sound like a lot, but 7 millimeters of rubber is a thick wetsuit. And you need to wear rubber like wetsuit boots and gloves, and then also a hood. And so basically your whole body is covered in this rubber suit except for a little circle on your face that's exposed from the hood. And that part goes numb pretty quick, so it actually isn't as cold as you'd think. It was snowing. It was in February and it was 21 degrees out, and I mean, there was waves, So that was the coldest I've ever surfed. It was 21 degrees is the air, and the water was probably about 30s, maybe low 40s. And it was really cold, and I made it about 15 minutes in the water before my fingers went numb, and I couldn't feel my feet, and that's when I called it a day. Yeah, I think it's kind of just taken a hold of my life at this point to where, like, everything I plan for in the future, I have to be within, you know, a half hour of the ocean. I can't be on a state that doesn't have a coastline or anything like that. I plan on surfing until the day I die. And I may even die surfing, but you know what? There's worse ways to go.